Hey guys, today we're talking about Quidditch Through the Ages. Specifically reviewing it, beginning with Chapter 1, The Evolution of the Flying Broomstick. So basically, first chapter talks about why ancestors wanted brooms, the fact that we're so, just used to having brooms in our houses, flying broomsticks, and we don't ask why. Stuff about muggles, early broomsticks, just the most, the first broomsticks and why we wanted them, and muggles. I'm a pureblood and I think just associating with muggles is stupid.
No one asked your opinion, you filthy little pureblood.
Out of 5 stars, I would give Chapter 1 a 4. He makes fun of bats, which I'm okay with that. But he also says that levitation is commonplace. However, in Harry Potter, in fact, the only wizards that can fly are Voldemort ones in the Voldemort plotline.
Even Hermione can't levitate, you fool. Mr. Kingleworthy Wisp.
It's a stupid name, really. It says that birds are great, but growing feathers is inconvenient, which I guess is probably true. And then it says something odd. It says, why did we in the West not adopt the carpet did not adopt the carpet so beloved of our Eastern brethren? Why didn't we choose to produce flying barrels, flying armchairs, flying bathtubs? Why brooms? And then, of course, it goes on to explain, who has a barrel in their house, seriously? And who has a bathtub? Why would you want to be in a flying bathtub? It talks about how, muggles, they don't really need to question it. But here's the thing. If you were to look out your window and to see your wizarding neighbor flying around, I'm pretty sure you'd be pretty confused. Granted, you'd probably be even more confused if they were in a flying barrel. Odd. They would probably be confused not because, it's a flying barrel, but because someone is sitting in a barrel. Who does that?
And then we get a look at the original broomstick.
Now, I just think it's dumb that they need, because it's whatever, but here's the picture. It's just a broom. It looks like it's drawn MS Paint or something, or just ink or something. And it has a thick, knotty handle of unvarnished ash with hazel twigs bound crudely to one end. It is neither comfortable nor aerodynamic. I mean, with the right charms and stuff, that could be aerodynamic, and I don't see how you could have splinter-filled buttocks and bulging piles on a flat surface like that, but whatever. But then it states the flaws. It can only move forward at one speed, and it will go up and down and stop. You can't go back without going all the way down to the ground and turning it around. And every time you want to make a turn, you have to go all the way down to the ground and aim it in a new direction. That's terrible. And then, of course, it explains that, eventually broomsticks became more comfortable, and then people didn't just use them to get from point A, which I guess can be right here on this wall, point A to point B. Chapter 2, Ancient Broom Games. So, I've shared my opinions on facts stated in Chapter 1. Now, I think that Chapter 2 is great, but it has many flaws. First of all, none of these are in the Harry Potter, the Harry Potter series. It says, the annual broom race, which is just a race from Sweden to, just like 300 miles. And then it talks about Stitch Stuck, which is where one person's trying to defend a giant inflated dragon bladder. One of them is Engine, where you literally, just throw a ball while running. Well, you have to run through a series of burning barrels, and then you have to throw it through the last one. If you don't get caught on fire, you win. It talks about one where you put a cauldron on your head and you fall barrels and you probably die because that's extremely dangerous. It talks about shunt bumps, which is a jousting. And then of course it talks about swimming hodge, which is basically everyone's trying to attack a pig bladder. None of them were in the Harry Potter series.
Seriously, none of them were ever mentioned in the Harry Potter series.
I mean, you think that the surviving one's like an annual broom race. It's like Engine didn't fall out. Shump Bumps and Swimming Hodge. You think they'd be mentioned, like, oh, did you see Shump Bumps, those kids were doing well, or Swimming Hodge, they really got at those pig bladders, or, like, like the annual broom race, this person won. It's just stupid. Chapter 3, the game from Quidditch Marsh. What kind of name is that? Quidditch Marsh.
This is probably my favorite chapter out of all of them because it's just so cool.
So I like this chapter a lot, so I'm only going to be saying good things about it properly. So basically, it reads you all these diary entries where someone only knew one day of the week. Tuesdays, you could just say Tuesday hot, Tuesday wet, Tuesday windy. In the first one, she's watching people, what is her name? Gertie Kettle is watching people play early Quidditch, which is just purely goal scoring. There's no bludgers, it's just chasers and quaffle and keepers, I guess. And then the second one, she's picking nettles, and they replaced her ball, and it explains how good goals are trees. And then in the final one, Gwynog, you might know her because Gwynog Jones. She, they're making nettle tea, and then they watch them. They have bludgers and a big Scottish warlock now. And then Gwynog's like, I often play Quidditch. And Gertie's like, you suck. And then, I do enjoy that. I do not like Gertie because she hates Quidditch. And I am a keeper. I'm a keeper. That didn't sound right. I am a keeper in Quidditch. Okay? Now, so of course it talks about what it revealed. And then there's one from Kneen, Kneen, who basically sent, I think he sent a letter to his cousin living Norwegian cousin living in Norway. That's basically talking about that he was playing a game. They won because they scored 42 times. That's insane. Nowadays, that's like golden snitch doesn't matter anymore. So basically, they it's also at this point it's spelled Kwidditch, so it's like more simple. And basically, they call the bludger a bluder. And basically, they had people, and he got jinxed for staying up so late, but they had barrels on stilts. in class, I actually really like just reading that over again because I'm like, this was early Quidditch. Just goal scoring and bludgers. This is great. Like, I treasure this. I treasure it. Chapter 4, The Arrival of the Golden Snitch. Okay, so basically, just because golden snitches were a bird that was basically the golden snitch, but people would hunt them, and then one day some guy was like, oh, I'm gonna give you 150 galleons if you can catch this, and like everyone wasn't playing Quidditch because just like me to catch it. And then some person was like, this is stupid, I'm gonna take this snidget and go. And then snidget hunting was banned, and then some guy Bowman, right? What? Right. Bowman Wright, I think. I'm so confused. What was that? But I'm just gonna call him Bowman. He made a metal ball replacement, and yeah, I guess I really like that. That guy's cool because, and so is that person who saved the snidget. Like, come on, like, why would you kill an innocent bird for a sport? I mean, you could say the same thing about why do people eat meat, but I just don't understand it. So yeah, I think that was a good choice. Chapter 5, Anti-Muggle Precautions. So basically, there's just a bunch of rules, ministry stuff, where it was like, so the Wizards Council outlawed all Quidditch playing within 50 miles of towns in 1362. The council found it necessary to amend the ban in 1968, making it illegal to play within 100 miles of a town. And then in 1419, they made a famously worded decree: anywhere near any place where there is the slightest chance that a Muggle might be watching or will see, where you can't go there, or we will see how well you can play whilst changed to a dungeon wall. So basically, they banned Quidditch because a Muggle could be anywhere. Like if a Muggle's drowning in the Pacific Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, an ocean somewhere, or if there's a Muggle in Antarctica, basically all wizards have to go to Antarctica to play Quidditch, is basically what this is saying. So basically, Quidditch pitches are safest on desert moors. I guess being in a desert is better than living in Antarctica, at least. Jesus, God. And then Chapter 6, changes in Quidditch since the 14th century, just goes over pitch changes, like how they wore once baskets and people had a big outrage. It shows the difference between quaffles, which originally had straps and finger holes, to gripping charms. And then it talks about bludgers, were once flying rocks. Some people found lead ones, but then finally they just decided that it should be like iron and silver and stuff. Golden Snitch, we already talked about that. The Keeper it just goes on and on about the changes that happened throughout Quidditch, and it talks about fouls. Blagging, blatching, blurting, bumping, cobbing, flacking, haversacking, quiffle-pocking, snitch-nip, or stooging. Blagging is seasoned opponent's broomtails. Basically, a bunch of rules. Snitch-nip, for example, is all players but Seeker. Any other player besides the Seeker touching or catching a snitch. So basically, just talks about how there's 700 fouls, but only lists 10, and it says that most of them aren't available to the public, and of course referees. I don't like that chapter. I do, in a way, because it gives you a lot of information about history and stuff, but I don't like it. Just because no one cares about what the Daily Prophet wrote in 1883 or in 1884. Chapter 7, Quidditch teams of Britain and Ireland. It just talks about all of the teams, the big main teams in Britain and Ireland, which are Appleby Arrows, Ballycastle Bats, Caerphilly Catapults, Chudley Cannons, of course, Falmouth Falcons, Holyhead Harpies, Kinmare Kestrels, what on earth? Montrose Magpies, Pride of Portree, Puddlemere United, Tutchill Tornadoes, Wigtown Wanderers, Wimborne Wasps. Those are those. And then it talks about spread of Quidditch worldwide. So basically, there's a poem that's like, oh, the thrill of the chase as a sorcerer deer with a snitch up of my basically stuff, scripts and stuff, cool things that in wizard history. And of course it talks about the rest of vultures, Quibblerin, Quaffle Punchers, Heidelberg Harriers, Biggin Bombers, and then it talks about Australia and New Zealand with the Matahora? I have Mackay's, Thundelara Thunderers, and the Woodlongong Wanderers, and Warriors, and it's like Patunga, Proud Sticks, Chiam, something, I cannot pronounce any of these. So basically it just talks about all of the teams, which would take forever if I were to read every single one listed and try and pronounce all the names. Chapter 9, the development of the racing broom. It basically just talks about a ton of them, just a ton of brooms. I like it. I like reading about super expensive brooms and super cheap brooms and vintage brooms and broom charms. And yeah, how many times did I say brooms in that little outburst? Chapter 10, Quidditch Today. It talks about all the normal, moves that people use, and yeah. In conclusion, there was a lot of information in such a small book that explains so much about the history of Quidditch, all the components of Quidditch in this book, and also all, purchases go to, they just donate to charity. And it's just great, and it's Quidditch, so yeah. Bye.